Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us on Business Incorporated, coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwago. On the program today, South Africa's Reserve Bank has hit back at the country's public protector as the prosecutor recommends the bank's constitution should be changed. And Kenya's capital markets regulator says it has not received any notification about a proposed acquisition by KCB Group of a stake in National Bank of Kenya. Plus, Etisalat has been instructed to transfer its 45% stake in Etisalat Nigeria to a loan trustee. Let's get started now with the markets, and profit-taking resurfaced the Nigerian Stock Exchange at intraday trade. The all-share index was down 0.12%. In South Africa, the JSE was also down 0.50% after an anti-graft government recommended constitutional changes to make the central bank abandon its policy of currency and price stability. Our traders and analysts have warned that the move could further dampen confidence in South Africa following credit downgrades to junk and 2 consecutive quarterly growth contractions. The Egyptian market, the EGX 30 index, was down 0.17%, and in Kenya, the market there closed down 0.72% on Monday. And stock markets in the Middle East were all down at intraday before a decision by index compiler MSCI on whether to consider Riyadh for a possible upgrade to emerging market status. MSCI will announce its decision after close of market. The Saudi index was down 0.73%. Dubai's index edged lower 0.18%. Qatar's index slipped 1.49% as Doha Bank dropped 2.4% and Qatar International Islamic Bank lost 2.2%. Qatari banks have been weak because of concern about increases in their funding costs after other Gulf countries imposed sanctions on Qatar early this month, accusing it of supporting terrorism. Abu Dhabi was also down 0.79%. And in Europe, the bourses there edged higher during early morning deals as investors turned their attention to individual stock news and data. Sterling fell to a one-week low after the governor of the Bank of England, Mark Carney, said now is not the time to raise rates. Daniel Cook, my colleague in Frankfurt, joins me now to give us the market report. Hello, Daniel. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, Daniel, the Brexit talks started on Monday. Tell us the latest.
Jimmy, and hello from Frankfurt. Let me give you a little bit details about the talks that were taking place yesterday. It were those kind of talks that you would normally probably have at a lawyer when you're getting a divorce. So what happened yesterday, it was mostly just like a getting to know each other. The two counterparts, on the one hand from the United Kingdom, on the other hand from the European Union, they were sitting together trying to get to know each other. Not so many details were talked about, but they basically set an agenda, what is going to be basically being talked during the next weeks and months. Their main priority right now is basically to find out which rights people living in the United Kingdom and people living outside of the United Kingdom are going to have. Already on June 22nd, Theresa May wants to share her ideas about that. That's mostly going to be about if people now, for example, from Britain, if they're now going to need maybe working permits when working, for example, here in Germany, also, or British people that want to work in other European countries. So that's going to be on the agenda. Then they also agreed that from now on they're going to have basically every month a one-week meeting. So in the next meeting they will be talking how much the UK actually will have to pay for this divorce, because there have been so many discussions. We heard numbers between 40 billion and 100 billion euros to be paid. So that's going to be their next focus. And in October, they want to have talks regarding trade agreements, so how trade is going to work between the European Union and the United Kingdom. That's going to be very closely watched, of course, also from the investors' perspective. And the goal basically is to have by October 2018 a complete contract, because remember, the Brexit will have to take place by law already in 2019. So by October 2018, they want to have the papers ready.
It's obviously going to be a long talk there. Now, BOE Chief Kearney,
yes,
in his speech this morning, said it's too early to lift interest rates. Did Kearney also make any comments of the state of the UK economy and where it could be heading in a post-Brexit world?
Yeah, that with the interest rate was actually a kind of interesting, because many people in the United Kingdom were actually saying that interest rates should be higher, because what the United Kingdom is facing right now is a pretty high problem with inflation rates. So now there's this question what they're going to do with the high inflation rate, because of course that's harming the businesses. Also, we heard that consumer prices in the UK have been going up. That's not making customers happy. And of course, what's also behind there, and I just want to tell you, something interesting. We had a member from Parliament actually urging in the last days British people basically to focus more on British products. He was saying, I mean, why do you buy cars, I don't know, from Germany or from Asia? We have good cars. Or on the other hand, British cheese is good. Don't buy cheese basically from Holland or other big cheese producing countries. So yeah, that's interesting, and that of course could be harming the economy of other countries, because just when you talk about Germany, for example, Germany and the United Kingdom, they have been trading always quite a lot. The export basically that Germany does with the United Kingdom is 6% of the total export Germany is doing. So yeah, let's see how that's going to be, and I'm kind of wondering how the British cheese actually might taste next time I'm going there.
Great. Well, let's look at the fraud case filtered into the markets today. Barclays Bank and its 4 former executives have been charged with fraud over fundraising in Qatar. Is this development a concern for other banks in Europe?
No, this is something that we have seen with many banks already in the past. Just Deutsche Bank, with their headquarters here in Frankfurt, they have had those fraud issues as well. We remember they had to pay actually more than 90 million US dollars to the US government because of fraud issues related to taxes with the United States. And, a little bit more details about Barclays Bank. They have been criticized actually for a long time of doing, business with Qatar. There was always a speculation if, everything, was kind of, basically okay and according to the law when they did this business. Now we are hearing that it's not. What's behind all of this? A huge transaction actually back in 2008 when Britain and also many other European countries were in this big financial crisis. Basically what happened is that the Barclays Bank received an enormous amount of £12 billion from Qatar. And now the serious fraud organization in the UK is investigating, because they are saying that those money transactions, on the one hand from Qatar and also back to Qatari investors, were not revealed openly. And the bank is now facing those charges of fraud and also basically of receiving financial support that was not allowed and not according to the law. On the trial is going to be the former CEO of Barclays, John Worley, and other senior employees of the company. And in case they would be charged and would be basically said that they are guilty, they could be sentenced with up to 10 years in prison.
Right, thank you very much, Daniel. It's a rainy day here in Lagos. I've got to let you go. Do enjoy the rest of the day and hope to see you tomorrow.